Welcome back, everyone. It's Rich Barber at Gables Title and Escrow with another episode of Title Talk. And this week we have one of my oldest, dearest friends, fraternity brother, colleague, all-around fantastic person. As I used to introduce him in BNI, I would say, you know, the guy had a super long introduction because he is well-credentialed. He is an absolute professional. He's an outstanding realtor, and best of all, he's an even better person. It's Carlos Gutierrez of the Gutierrez Group Real Estate.
Yes.
How you doing, buddy?
Carlo Banker. Thank you so much, guys.
Oh, wow.
That wasn't an applause track. That was actual people.
Yeah,
awesome.
live studio.
Yeah.
Like we said, Title Talk is filmed before a live studio
Fantastic.
audience.
All right. No, thank you for having me, and thank you again, as always, for that intro. And it's a pleasure to be here. You guys always do a fantastic job of welcoming us and doing a great job here at Coral Gables Title and Escrow. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, man. And so a little background for our audience. So Carlos did me the massive favor. He gave me the gift of BNI a few years ago. He impressed upon me that I should go. He insisted. Frankly, I wasn't going to listen. He then threatened to never send me files again. That put me in line right away, and it's been a great thing. And so aside from getting to work with Carlos, I see him once a week on Thursdays. Our focus here is to bring you people that are working in the Miami real estate community and making a difference. Carlos was the youngest president of the Miami Association of Realtors, which, by the way, is the second largest local realtor association, I think, in the world or the country?
It's the second largest in the world, largest in the U.S. And at this point, the next president was younger than I am. So now I have to say one of the youngest.
Oh, I see.
There's a disclaimer there.
He got Tom Brady. So he set the Brett Favre, he set the record, and then he got Brady. All right.
Exactly.
All right, I get it. So tell us a little bit about you, your background in real estate, and if you have any role models in the industry, just give us a little bit of Carlos.
Sure. It's been a long run. For years, I've had people get the first impression that I'm very young to be in the business, but this is really February 4th of this year, which was actually this month, was my 15th year in real estate, and really it's because it was my first job out of college. I started working with the lender, with the Wells Fargo lending side in 2003, and really that was my foray into real estate. So this marked my 15th year, and through a progression of those 15 years, we've really kind of had a couple transitions. And you know, the bread and butter, really, what we've been strongest at and continue to be strongest at, is working with attorneys, their clients, and sometimes even the courts and judges on legally complex situations that have to result in the sale of a home. So that can be a divorce, a probate inheritance, a litigation between a condo association and a homeowner. We've even had one so off the wall, it was from a criminal defense attorney, where the homeowner was locked in jail for something stupid that he did, and the only way to get out was to put up bond, which was his property, and the only way to pay his legal fees was to sell the house, pay the bond, pay the legal fees, and everybody was happy. So we handle complex situations, and that's what we do.
All right, that's great. And so how did you get into that niche market, the complex situations?
That's a good question. And you mentioned BNI in the beginning, and that's really how it happened. Right around 08, 09, we were still also doing mortgages as well as real estate. And with the banks collapsing, we couldn't get a mortgage done. With the houses upside down, it just turned into a lot of short sales. And in 09 is actually when I joined a BNI in Doral. And I had to build a good relationship with the attorneys, and the attorneys kind of let me behind the curtain, so to speak. So I got to see what happened on the attorney side of a probate. I got to see what happened on the attorney side of a divorce. And I was very well suited for that because I'm very patient. I'm very mellow, low key. You know, I do a lot of public speaking, so I turn it on stage. But you know, my natural state is really just kind of mellow and patient. So I'm very empathetic. So when somebody's going through a hard time, and
we joke, but that's true. Carlos is a lot like a ninja. He meditates every day and levitates while doing so. It's about 2 inches off the ground. He just kind of floats there.
It's achieving the Zen.
Yeah.
No, it really helps because things get contentious and crazy. And when you can keep centered and calm, you make good decisions. I make good decisions for my business, but I make really good decisions for my clients. And you need that when you're having a hard time in a divorce. You know, you've lost a family member and you inherit property through a probate, or if something's contentious and there's many moving parts, you need somebody who can handle something complex. And if there's no complexity and it's just a nice home sale, it's a home run for us.
So I see also recently, in recent years, that you're heavily involved in the legislative process. You travel to Tallahassee, you travel to DC, you go different places, speak to legislators about things that are important to real estate professionals. What can we expect? What if anything, are you working on now? What can we expect to see in the near future?
Yeah, that became very important to me because with so many realtors, there's 47,000 plus realtors in the Miami area. I noticed a lot of, I don't want to use the word apathy, but there was very much a somebody else will do it kind of attitude. And I became that somebody else. So I go to Tallahassee, I speak to legislators, I go to DC, I speak to federal legislators. And one of our most recent victories was speaking to the lawmakers in Tallahassee and finally getting them to reduce the business rent tax on commercial leases. Now, just to put in perspective what that means, 49 out of the 50 states don't charge you tax on the rent you pay to rent an office, a building, any kind of commercial space, but Florida does. So we've been kind of hammering legislators to reduce that so we can attract more businesses. More businesses means more homeowners. More homeowners means more closings. More closings means, all the ancillary dollars that come into buying a home. And we just got a little bit of reduction in that, so it's headway for us going in the right direction.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And so you've taken this role and you've taken this leadership role in the realtor industry. And you mentioned it's 47,000 realtor. That means literally 47,000 in Miami. What that means, if we step outside and pick up a rock and throw it in any direction, we're likely to hit a realtor. So
absolutely.
What else can we expect from Carlos Gutierrez going forward now that you're no longer the president of Miami Realtors, right?
Correct. But it didn't actually stop there because I've taken the next step in leadership, and I'm the district vice president for the Florida Realtors, which means I represent not only Miami, but I'm the liaison between the realtor members in Miami and all Florida Keys and Monroe County as it pertains to the state association, which is the Florida Realtor Association. I've also moved up in the national level as far as responsibility and leadership, and there were about 1,100 applications and only 80 were chosen across the country to lead a committee at the national level, and I am the 2018 vice chair of the Local Leader Idea Exchange Council. So that's top real estate minds and current local presidents from all over the country. They meet twice a year, and I will be the chairman of that committee, connecting all these great real estate minds and helping solve problems, moving our industry ahead, and protecting homeowners at the same time. So, the responsibility continues even though the local presidency is done.
The Local Leaders Idea Exchange Council. Say that 5 times fast, huh? That's fantastic, buddy. That's great. And so, tell me about the book. Carlos wrote a book. Well, now you know we're getting old or getting somewhere, maybe both. When one of your oldest friends from college has a book now. He's got a book. Sebastian's got a book too. There's books all over the room. I'm the only guy without a book in here.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, Rich. I'm a contributing author, and like I said, one of the things that we've been working on is growing the part of our real estate that involves with complex transactions. It can come from a divorce or a probate. And we're currently working on meeting and working with family law attorneys, family therapists, and I'm actually the current, the title's director, but it's the same as a chapter president for the National Association of Divorce Professionals in Aventura, which is an organization that only invites and accepts members who touch in the business world on the divorce process. So we have forensic accountants, mortgage people, attorneys, anyone who touches on the divorce process but has been vetted and qualified. So I lead that organization locally in Aventura, and I've also been a contributing author to a book titled Best Home Selling Options in a Divorce. So that's really what we do to differentiate ourselves from the 47,000 other realtors, and I try to couple that with contributing to my clients' lives and to the industry as much as possible as well.
Where do we get it? Can we get it?
Yeah, you can. Best move is just to enter something in the comments section, reach out to me, and I'd be happy to either get it to Rich, get it out to you guys, have a phone conversation.
For free or for sale?
For free. For free.
For free. I was thinking he was going to say, oh yeah, just go to my Amazon book page and just add to cart. But no.
I want to do it to give back. This is my way to put the information in the hands of people who need it in a dark time, or for attorneys to give out to their clients so that they can have a little bit of a guide on what to do when it comes to property in a divorce.
I wasn't kidding at the beginning, folks. A great professional, an even better person. So tell me, my friend, if we are sitting here a year from now, right, and I say, Carlos, tell me, what was 2018's biggest victory?
Well, I've done it before, but I would like to do it again and more often, is to become a court-appointed listing agent in contentious cases of divorce or inheritance. Sometimes the siblings fight, sometimes the couples fight, and the attorneys fight, and it goes up the chain to where a judge, very well respected judge, will say, okay, if you guys can't decide, Carlos Gutierrez is going to list it, solve your real estate problems, and get the property sold. So that's my goal. I've actually I'm working on becoming the go-to guy when it comes to that.
Fantastic. My friend, I thank you so much for being here. It was great. We love having you. We hope to have you back soon. All the best to you and the team, to Ellen. Give everyone a big hug.
Fantastic. And before we sign off, I just want to sing your praises too. I've not only been a friend of Rich's for a long time, but I've done business, I think, going back to 2008 with you guys. And not just because we're friends, but these guys are the best in the business and really have done a fantastic job. Every time we've served one up, they've hit a home run. So thank you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, bro. Great to see you.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, folks, that's it. Another episode of Title Talk in the books. Tune in next week. Who the guest is, one never knows. But as soon as we know, you'll know, and we look forward to seeing you. Thanks again for tuning in. Title Talk at Coral Gables Title and Escrow.